Hello everyone, welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and thank you so much for all the support. Currently sitting still stuck at 50 subscribers, so if one of you that's watching the video, it's around 80% people that aren't subscribed that do watch my videos. If one of you could so nicely drop a subscriber so I can get to 51, that would make me so happy. Been stuck for a few days. We'll see by the time if this video comes out if we're still stuck. If not, I appreciate it. And if you also have a chance, please do drop a like. Now let's get right into this. We have in the left-hand side, we have Vladimir 1902 as the Holy Roman Empire. And we have Rat Attack, who is actually Recon, as the Malians over here on the right-hand side in the red. Now the stats are still pretty new, so I'm gonna pull them up for you anyways. We have about a 700 game sample size from across the entire span of the game, which means from Bronze all the way to Conqueror 3. And that's at around a 50% win rate, a little bit higher for the Malians, which is considered right now to be the worst race, worst civ in the entire game. They're just not too good. But that being said, there's only 28 games in Challenger Plus between these two matchups, and a 78% win rate for the Malians. That probably just means that there is one really good Malian player that keeps coming up against people, and they keep winning. And also, I will say, as you saw in this Golden League 2 tournament, the first one, each civilization, when it gets higher and higher up, it's more important for the map itself. So they're really bad civs that do really well on just certain maps because of how they're kind of spread out. So take those into account with the stats. Look at them holistically. There's not enough data yet, really. Big shout out to AOE, 4World. They do an unreal job at just giving us everything that we really need to know about this game, and it's a great resource for me to find people, to find games to cast for you guys. So overall, it's just been they're awesome. So I'll leave the link in the description for where I get all the stats. On top of that, please do check out Vladimir and Recon for their respective social links. I believe Vladimir is a streamer, so go check them out. We have an Arcane Chapel coming down. I would say early, but the Holy Roman Empire is they just always have this going down so so-quickly. We've been seeing a lot of the Arcane Chapel. Pretty decent placement here. You can cover the gold, cover the wood. So overall, really nice. That's a decent placement. Obviously, it's within the range of drop-off of all resources, so make sure when you're placing your Arcane Chapel, that's in the range of some resources that you really want to focus on. So gold's probably the most important one for the Holy Roman Empire for a lot of times, because they like to go for those men-at-arms in Age 3. So just keep in mind, if you're new to the Holy Roman Empire, or vice versa, if you're playing against them, if you're looking to scout for what they're going for, whether it be mine work or this, just know as well that that's probably a good shot that it's going to be, you can start to look towards their goal to see what they're going to go for their Age 2. All right. Just as I say that, Recon runs a scout right by. What do we got going over here? We got plenty of pit mines going down. Usually, if you've made it to my channel, you understand the basics of each civilization, but obviously these give a boost to this pit mine when you build houses around it. And then obviously the Malians go that tier 3 tower. We've been seeing more Masonic quarries, though, I will say. Less of the trade network, more of the Masonic quarries. But that Age 3, obviously, you can buy any units in gold. So that obviously the Malians have a big boost to the gold output that they have. The streaming of wood. People gathering wood. I wonder if we're going to see Vladimir throw down a timber hut soon. I guess they can go right to the Arcane Chapel. So as you can see, this little aura, this will also be where a lot of farms are going around here, just because it's such a really good resource. As you can see, acts as a drop off for all resources. It gains the ability to influence town center. It's really just an unreal perk, and you inspire all villagers 40% faster. So if everyone's working in here, that's why the Holy Roman Empire just starts to really boom in that Age 3. So if you're ever wondering if you're playing a 2v2, 1v1, and you're struggling against the Holy Roman Empire, and you're wondering why just straight up macroing sometimes doesn't work against them or whatever, if you don't harass or if you don't kind of do an all-in timing push or really counter what they have going on, this will cause you some issues. I'm not going to lie. If you watch Golden League at all, BC was incredible at the late game boom of Holy Roman Empire. Would go to Arching Chapel, into I believe the Cathedral, into as the Age 3, right into Age 4, and just his economy was just so good and so strong. So we'll see what Recon has in store as the Malian player. As I mentioned, Malians are not that strong at the current moment, so definitely going to be interested to see how this kind of interacts. We do have a horseman. I don't know how I missed that. There you go. Just one of everything. Just an overall army, if you will. So we're going to see some early aggression out of Vladimir. So we have one horseman already in. We do have javelin throwers already coming out for recon. So going to be in an okay spot. I might want to save some of these. Run them away. But the Holy Roman Empire is going to start to stream some units. That you see the rally point over here for the stables. I just love that this is like a little, just like everything you like, just one of each. It's the perfect little army. Really committing to this though. So Recon needs to get a few more javelin throwers. Vladimir capping himself out there, which is not ideal. But that being said, the more time Recon's allowed to have though, the better off they're going to be. You do not want javelin throwers into these spearmen, into these horses. Let's see. Does pick off one horse, pretty big. Obviously, these take less damage. I don't know why I keep saying obviously. I should work on that. These take less damage against range, so they're going to be okay to take on a fight with these archers. Only that, I will say that losing that horseman is actually pretty big. We do have tons and tons of more units catching, and this is a great scout. So from Recon, he can see that they're still streaming in, so they know that this is going to be heavily committed to this push. A different push than you'd normally see, than you see in like gold level. This is definitely a more high level push, a very well-rounded army. But these 10 javelin throwers are going to do a great job at just being able to defend, and if they can start to pick off some stragglers, or just get free shots like that, the better it's going to be. Don't want to get them caught out here though. Want to retreat back. Oh, no. Get back. As you can see, the damage being done by the archers is very minimal. Yes, nice kiting by Recon, which is really nice. The more they can just hold off, the better, because obviously Vladimir is going really hard into this. Well, that was a few free shots. These javelins only lost one so far, and they've picked off, I think, 5 or 6 units. These javelin throwers are so good, and now we have more coming out, which is great, and then we have sofas coming out. These sofas are going to put an end to this. Once these javelin throwers have tanks in front of them to kind of be that barrier, it's going to be that's going to be it. We'll see if they do lose a pit mine, which would be very important. I'm not really sure the composition here. I mean, again, it's beautifully well-rounded. I'm just not really, I mean, you definitely can't counter it in one go, but I will say, as the Malians, javelin throwers are probably the best response to this that you could probably have from almost any civ. They have long range, they don't take much damage from archers. They do the same amount of damage as archers would do to all these units, because there's no armored units in here. So the stream is still coming. Vladimir going seemingly all in on this, which is really interesting to see. The sofas hanging back because they want to hit a critical mass, and the javelin throwers are going to keep picking things off. I mean, obviously this pit mine is in danger of going down, but that's still okay. Excellent recon here by Recon. Micro here by Recon. Excellent recon here by Recon. But really just not allowing them to take down this pit mine fully. You're going to be able to push it away with 16 javelin throwers into this. And definitely not enough damage done there by Vladimir. So really putting themselves behind. They're collecting some food over here. Let's see what else got going on at home. pretty much stuck on tier age 2. But this army is going to come back with some vengeance, I will say. Once this army starts to get a critical mass of javelin throwers, and they can start to one-shot everything they throw at, just like same thing with archers, same thing with everything else, these spearmen will be good into the sofa that are being heavily produced. I like that Recon didn't go too hard into the archers and just continue the javelin throwers. Pushing out some unfortunate timing here. Let's see if they get cut out. They will not by this army. A lot of horsemen. 14 horsemen and 15 spears. If these horsemen die too quickly, they only have 7 archers behind them, which don't do that much damage to the javelin throwers anyways, or the sofas. So the 7 archers are essentially useless in this fight, to be honest, because they do negative damage to sofas, it seemed like. And yeah, if these horses die too quickly, there's not much that this army can do, because the sofas will loop around to attack the archers. Excellent micro by Recon at this point. Just keep pushing him back, trying to get into that town center. And then, like I said, these spearmen really don't do much once they get kited. A lot of horses are very injured. Just not want to get those sofas attacked by the spearmen. But that being said, still 18 javelin throwers alive, and the horsemen are pretty much decimated at this point. And they really can't get in with the spearmen, because they're just gonna keep kiting them away. And the archers do almost negative damage to both the sofas and the javelin throwers. Recon just really good clean micro, and still keeping up with the economy, still keeping up in civilians made. And there he goes, pushed off another attack, losing a ton. Another archer going down, and now still 18. Like, look at that. The spread was beautiful. Recon is doing bits with the economy as well on the back end. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Do it in the score. Has wheelbarrow still, and has balanced projectiles. So does have the +1, which Vladimir did not have. And now, once you get a critical mass, just one sofa providing enough cover fire to just... This is it. This has got to be GG, right? It might not be GG the second, but with Recon having 22 javelin throws in the map, complete map control, completely thwarting the all-in, essentially, by this. Excellent defense over here. How many infrastructures does he have? Just 2 and 2. That's all it took to defend that. Because once they got a critical mass of javelins, now they can go back and harass. And again, it's the same thing that applies, same with the town center, just shooting lonely arrows at these things that have great range defense. Now we're going to get onto the wood line that the Arcane Chapel is kind of boosting up. Actually, looking to see if they can secure any easy ones. Know that there's civilians out here somewhere. I wonder if Recon's going to go chase them down or not, or let them live another day. But as you can see, Recon started to move out towards the deer, out in the middle of the map, starting to wall off to not get any run-bys, sees the boar, also does it on this end of the map. The sofas spot them, and there they are. Alright, we're going to have some heavy casualties here. Vladimir's army is here, though, so again, another nice spread out. Nope. So losing only 2, not too bad for civilians lost, but a lot of idle time, because they've been running for a while. And they had to move over to a much less ideal tree spot, because obviously you want to do everything, same thing with farms, you want to do everything that you possibly can in this Arcane Chapel. So the gold's in it, but it's almost useless, because they finally started going back to gold. Oh, there's another fight. The javelin throwers are in a little worse position this time around. Not as nearly as nice as that back end line that they used to have. A little bit better spread. They're just pretty beefy at this point, though, and getting that ranged armor as well, which would mean that archers are essentially useless to make at this point. Because into sofas, into these, especially with the ranged armor, they're just gonna be shooting pea shooters at them. Like, it's not gonna impact them at all. Still super, super tanky. Takes all of that out. Did lose 10 javelin throwers, which are pretty hefty for investment for gold. But Vladimir's down to nothing. So complete control of the map. Vladimir has enough gold to go age 3, but does not have the food yet. So waiting patiently for that to kind of go up. So we're going to be kind of, I feel like, stagnating until they get to that 1200. But as you can see, the age 3 coming down, the castle age for the garrison going down, which is this is the unique to the Malians. Essentially, it produces barracks for gold. It produces units for gold, obviously, as you can see. Which is why it's so important to protect these pit mines at all costs. And tons and tons of civilians on gold. If we do this, we see 15. Oh, another engage. Would love to see something else besides these horsemen purchase. I mean, they're not bad into the javelin throwers, but with the sofas in the back line and getting some sprinkling of archers as well, once they get a critical mass of sofas too, this army is not going to do anything to them. There's 4 spearmen and there's going to be 8 sofas. Doesn't matter if the spearmen counter them, not in those numbers. And they have archers in the back end to help them out, and then essentially like poking sticks on horsemen is essentially what they're going to be fighting against. So I'm assuming Recon's going to feel pretty comfortable to move out pretty soon. There's a cathedral, as I mentioned, going out in front. This acts as a monastery, and all relics that generate 100% gold are garrisoned. Have they gotten any of the relics? The relics are still all around. So no relics just yet. But we'll see if in age 3 there's anything to be done there. And we'll also see if Recon ends up taking some of these relics. Walling off completely, going, I'm going to go into, I'm going to be comfortable in age 3 as I move out, and you're not going to be able to harass me with all those horsemen. 12 javelin throwers, 9 archers, 8 sofas, all moving out as one into 3, 5, and 8, and none of them are as good of units as these. So the only ones that are comparable are archers, and these are veteran archers, the castle age. So I'm assuming Recon's gonna move out pretty soon because the castle age buff to these archers is incredible, and same with the javelin. They're veterans at this point too, and same with the sofas. Everything is veteran status, which is going to absolutely rip apart. There's the first relic going down, but as you can see, a much larger enemy approaches, and I think they're going to track these down. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. And the first couple of volleys go out, and it's a massacre already. And now the sofas are in onto the archers, and this is pretty much GG. The relic's going to go down as well. So unreal defense by Recon. I mean, it might last a little bit longer, but with it, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to this? Knights they're decent, but they're too late, I believe. A little bit too late for sure. I'm going to be starting to harass every which way. And there's the first knight out in the field. These horsemen just essentially throwing away their lives because they're not really fighting for much for anything. There's the knights, but with everything else going down, they can just get focus fired. Again, there's good counters, but then there's also just like if you don't have a critical mass of them, or you kind of stream them in, it doesn't matter if the archers do negligible damage to the knights. If they're just being allowed to free fire the whole time, it's going to be over anyways. I will say the only thing going in Vladimir's favor right now is the fact that these do not take down military structures very easily. If anything with light infantry or light armor goes even remotely outside of the protection of the base, it's pretty much over. As you can see, the knights even getting torn apart by these castle age archers, and these are still normal. There's the veteran spearmen, but everything's kind of just streaming in at once at this point. With the ranged armor level 1, this tower's not really doing too much damage, especially the sofas, just doing nothing. And maybe for a turn, they have 195 health. A man-at-arms coming out, a little bit too late as well. Losing a few units to just like some bad, why can't I think of the word? When you press, I'm going to move on. some rally. When you a bad rally point, the fact I had to look it up is insane. But sometimes that happens. You know what I mean? Like the amount you're casting, you just can't think of that one word in that moment. But like I said, these archers don't really kill anything very fast building wise. As you can see, even this barracks is just not doing anything. Here comes down the battering ram, which should be it. Once you get one or two of these to actually do some damage, that will be all she wrote. And the knights coming in, I mean, but again, it's just a critical mass. Even though they do counter what Recon has, they're just not enough to stop them. And with that much of investment, there it is, GG. So unreal micro by Recon, great read, utilizing those javelin throwers to kind of essentially counter that everything push from Vladimir. And yeah, honestly, just really, really good game. Really interesting to see a new kind of tactic come out from the Malians. It's also nice to see what a high-level player can do with even the quote-unquote worst civ in the game. And it just goes to show you that, yes, the stats matter. Yes, things are important. But comfort picks, maps are also super important. So remember that. And yeah, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all the videos have been doing so well. And like I said, if you could leave a like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And I appreciate you guys. And let me know if there's anything else I can do with the channel, any other types of videos, any other things with AoE 4. Just let me know, and I'd be happy to respond to the comments in the comment section. So yeah, have a great day.